We are live.
Hey,
How
what's
are
up,
you
bro?
doing? Well, welcome to episode number 84 of Chilling3000. Here knows it is Friday night. Then that means it's time for another episode of Chilling3000. Here knows we are going back to our usual Friday night schedule because before it was my birthday week. I was doing it for a week long. So as of tonight, we are back doing it on Fridays. And I might do an episode on Halloween night as well, but it depends on what I plan. But right now, we are back to our usual Friday night schedule. Hello there, William.
Hey,
William
William.
Braun. So, how are you doing today, Jason?
Oh, just another busy week here in Oviedo, Florida.
that would.
Double J Jeff Jarrett. Yep. Oh,
So yes, it's gonna be another calling stream here, where um I'm gonna start this off with me talking with Jason here, and then in about 30 minutes, around 9:30, I'll be having Matt Bingel on, who is a puppeteering. We're gonna talk about what it's like to be a puppeteer and what his experience on that, and also for being in the YouTube community because he is also known for being part of the YouTube Game Show community as well. So we'll look into that with him as well. Um, how is your podcast going, Jason?
Oh well, so far we're hanging in there. This week we've uploaded some more stuff for the Legacy of New York on YouTube and the Retro Toys and Games. I do have an announcement to make tonight that the Retro Toys and Games channel on Spotify, as of next week, is going off off of Spotify. We've come to realize that a lot of people have so much going on with Anchor and Spotify right now, but the payouts are kind of But that doesn't mean that the Queens New Yorker and the Retro, the Legacy of New York or Queens will stop on Spotify. We're just taking one of the channels off because it's not getting the unique listeners that it needs, but it's getting the listeners on YouTube, which is where I'm trying to focus and get everything back to where it was. So that's the big announcement right now. And other than that, just trying to catch up with DoorDash because the Hurricane Ian. It's now been almost a month, and just trying to play catch up with that because a lot of people.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been a month because I remember
Ronnie
some feedback.
Sensing feedback.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll turn down the volume a little bit on my end. Maybe that might work. But yes, I did get a new microphone for my birthday. So this will definitely help. I turned down the volume on my headphones, so that should work. Um, so um, so you do your podcast, and would you like to remind everybody your schedule for your shows? I think you do one like every day.
Yeah, pretty much. But even at that rate, sometimes they don't get produced or something because just due to energy.
Like put this on YouTube.
Yeah, the Jay's Retro Toys and Games is usually on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. It's usually uploaded. The Queens New Yorker is Tuesday and Thursday. Jason Canio show is Saturday. Spiritual Hour and Legacy of Queens is on Sunday. and it's pretty much that's the schedule I have going right now. But even at that, I'm far behind because Ian basically threw off my schedule a little bit. But we're gonna try to pick it up come November. We're gonna really start cracking some more episodes. So what I'm trying to do is get all the back episodes.
Oh yeah, I know what Jerome is talking about. So basically, Jason, both us on the sofas is the show that Jerome and Gary does on Mondays. Basically, YouTube has been taking away their views as of late for the past months, and I honestly I'm used to seeing both of us get 1,000 views after 1,000 views, and now all of a sudden, especially with episode 209, which really got to me, is that the views have been like almost cut in half. They've been taking away the views like every single week. I woke up on Facebook and I see the announcement from Jerome that, oh, YouTube is taking away views again. I'm just like,
Hmm.
what?
Well, what gets me
That's,
is that my one channel, the Legacy of New York, has got 29 subscribers, while the Retro Toys and Games channel only has 14 subscribers. But I'm picking that up with the views by reaching out to the Facebook groups that are attached to this. But here in the gaming community, and you guys, Rami and Raven Powers, how you doing? And Emo and Urasha, you guys should be subscribing to my channels, because I'll subscribe to you if you subscribe to me, sub for sub. But even YouTube frowns upon that. And
yeah,
you know,
it's
but
just
I think
crazy on how
because I think because everybody down here in Florida, some don't have anything right now. People don't even have a house to live in. They're all flooded out. So the West Coast got hit bad, and it's almost now a month, and they're still not recuperating from it. It's going to be several months before they get back on track. Yeah.
It's also kind of crazy that even the Tampa Bay Rays haven't been home since the hurricane first happened,
Yeah.
because with the I think it may have to do something with the MLB lockout. They had to rearrange the games with the schedule, and the Rays, they weren't home for the rest of the season after the hurricane, and then they went to Cleveland for the wild card series,
Yep.
and they just never have been home since the hurricane.
Yeah. Rami's right. Yeah, the West Coast got demolished. I mean, that hurricane touchdown somewhere near between Tampa and St. Petersburg. There was a small little speck of an
Raven
area.
is wondering what's your YouTube channel.
Oh, I don't know. I can't comment. I would have to private chat it to you.
Yeah, you could do that. It'll be more
Uh,
easier.
yeah, I mean, because then to find it, you have to basically be very specific with the title.
Yeah. And also, I think I'm not quite sure if how links work with the YouTube live chat, but um,
And that's
all right.
so Jay's Retro Toys and Games, and then the Legacy of New York, which is the Legacy of Queens, because the Legacy of Queens is on Spotify and Anchor, because I couldn't use
Yeah.
that title on YouTube, and I'm going to be starting to branch out of Queens eventually when I run out of when I run out of people that basically,
Yeah.
that are basically in New York in general. I titled it The Legacy of New York so that it could be easily searched on YouTube. Yep. So those are the two channels on YouTube, folks. Thank you.
And about your Jason, can you? So I actually I actually made an account on
Mixcloud.
Mixcloud.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I made an account today, and I saw your last episode was from a month ago, like when I with the recordings.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm a little behind on that. To put, like I said, and for that, let me put it to you this way: it's a 2-hour show with 20 songs, and we were talking about that on the last program that you had me
for
on.
those one, for
Yeah,
those who are wondering, it's basically a radio app station.
yeah, it's for DJs and for anybody playing mixes. So really, it's almost like an internet radio station. Your channel is basically your station. You could play anything you want. Mixcloud's going to cover your copyrights, and so you can play songs and not worry about companies coming after you for copyright. They cover all of that.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to listen to music like on a Saturday, then there you go.
Yep.
And you don't, and people don't get paid to do this on the app.
They have it. You can pay $15 a year subscription to start branching your show to get paid, because then you would charge a monthly membership to your customers on there. As is it, if they follow your channel, then they would pay a monthly membership of like either $4.99 or $9.99, depending on what you wanted to set up, depending on how popular your channel is.
I might try to do my own radio, maybe next year, like for Tuesday nights or something, to fill in that slot.
Now I want to.
I
Now
might
I
try
want to
something like
propose.
that.
I want to propose a thing. A thing to your audience. Do you think David St. Dennis could put together a YouTube channel where it's a network channel, where it's like the David 3000 network, where all of us can come
Yeah.
together, put our shows on that David 3000 network channel on YouTube? You know, Brandon Martin's stuff, Eric Lima's stuff, my stuff, your stuff, whoever else wants to host a show. Do you think that this man right here, who's hosting this program right now, would be a great executive CEO of David 3000 and be able to get everybody to watch? Because there'd be a variety of stuff. Just it would be like what channel like CBS or NBC or ABC.
Yeah.
Remember that daytime lineup on NBC for the game shows, or CBS? And then you had
That
your
reminds me.
in the afternoon, you know, and then your programs at night. Yeah.
Even password used to be during that. Wait, what time did Super Password? I mean, yeah, Super Password used
Super
to air.
Password used to come on at 12 noon. And it was the only game show, and I think a lot of people would know this, it was the only game show that was able to hold that 12 noon slot without losing ratings to the news.
5 days a week.
5 days a week, yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
From September 20th, 1984 to March 31st, 1989. Yep. Thank you, Raven Powers. Appreciate it.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah. Like, you know, the news is like there's nothing much going on around 12 o'clock except for the news of these other shows.
So when Super Password premiered in that time slot, everybody watched it. And yet it was on for 5 seasons, but everybody watched it, and it kept those good ratings for those 5 years. And then, of course, you had Wordplay in 1987 come on for a little while at the 12:30 slot. But who Oh, go ahead.
Wasn't Millionaires, you know, in that slot as well before?
Millionaires?
Who was to be a millionaire?
I don't remember.
Who was to be a millionaire? I thought it used to air in that 12 slot.
I thought Santa Barbara was in that time slot. Santa Barbara at 12:30 might have been after the new news, or after Super Password came Santa Barbara at 12:30. But then when Wordplay came on in 87, I think Santa Barbara was bumped to 1 p.m. Could have been, because you had those NBC soap operas coming in right after Wordplay.
Mm-hmm. And back to your thing about, you know, podcasts. I think podcasts, you know, I think they're very popular nowadays. Since the past few years, and it's great because, you know, what if you're on the road and you need something to listen to you know, do something while you're, I guess you could say, multicasting, then you have something to listen to, and with no Wi-Fi problems.
That's true. And yeah, you got to have a good, strong signal. And even down here in Florida, during the summertime, bro, we get a lot of thunderstorms. And that's why I was even telling Brandon Martin, I take the summer off because I can't really count on it being a non-rainy day without the internet being interrupted in some way, shape, or form. And so that's why I take the summer off, folks, kind of just to recuperate and, you know, take a break from everything, try to get everything caught up in the archives. I found also too, David, that archive shows, you know, shows that I've done in the past or that I've put out there, and they didn't get views when I first put them out there. But when I put them out there about a month later, boy, everybody goes back and watches them. They're catching up, and that's okay.
Yeah.
If you got the storage space on your particular channel, you can do that. and you'll wind up getting more views from the archived episodes than you put on your new channel or your new shows.
Yeah, it's all about um, extra content for those and also new viewers.
Yeah, if I could get back the original 453 episodes of the Jason DeCanio show that I did over 13 years ago, that would be fantastic. But they're in podcast heaven, unfortunately. Nowhere to be found. Probably all
I
erased.
was trying to look it up, but there's this one thing on Mr. Intermissionalist or whatever that is.
Mr. Instrumentalist promoted me back in the day of 2011. Yes. And I
Tell
was
us
already
about that
2 years.
story.
Okay. He came on. He actually came to the house in 2011 from Houston, Texas. He made the trip with his girlfriend back in 2011 around the time of my birthday. And we had the interview in this exact room set up differently than what it is now. But he brought his keyboard and his computer. He couldn't play the keyboard, but he set it up in front so they got a shot of it. And I had my studio set up. I had my computers all set. I didn't have these big monitors. I didn't have anything fancy. What you saw, what I had back in the day, is what I had, and it worked for
Yeah.
the time. But he came in. We did a 2-part interview, and then he recorded one of my shows that was not interviewed, but a normal show that was not with interview.
And this was on this on a real radio station?
This was my WJDC studio, what you see here in Oviedo, Florida. It's made up, but it was done on Ustream, which is now IBM Cloud, and you can't do any more free stuff on there. You have to pay $99 to even attempt to record on on the internet. But back then it was free. But the problem was everybody was going in there and sabotaging the show. I mean, you name it, the trolls. That's how all this trolling really started, was back almost 11 years ago. Even,
And right now you're doing Anchor and Mixcloud, so there you
Anchor
go.
and Spotify, which basically they are the same company. Anchor owns Spotify, and then there's 8 other platforms for that Spotify. Through Spotify and Anchor, I can go on. There's Apple Podcasts. There's RSS.
People even get paid on not a lot of money, but
it would be a penny per play. So every time you listen to one of my shows, there's 2 ads, one at the beginning and one at the end. And every time you listen to that show from the beginning to end, those ads play. It's 2 cents a show. It's a penny per ad.
Now with YouTube, you'll have to get 1,000 subscribers to monetize. Is there a separate rule for Anchor?
No. The thing about
so you can just start.
You can
just start.
You can okay. With Anchor and Spotify, you have to have 50 unique listeners consistently listening to that channel. It could be any episode that you put on. You could put 100 episodes up there. As long as you continually maintain 50 episodes, and even if it drops after that, if it drops back to a regular 17 or 18 unique listeners, once you hit that 50 unique listener plateau, you are eligible to make money. And then
so nobody can just start a new podcast and just promote Anchor right away. They need to get that goal.
You will get an email from Anchor with an advertisement promoting Anchor, and that'll be your paid advertisement. And then you put that in your shows, but you have to get 50 unique listeners first. Once you get those 50 unique listeners, then you can email Anchor and say, hey, I got the listeners needed to qualify. Start sending me ads to promote, and so that I can get paid. And they'll do that because they're working on that as well. But the one ad that's still universal to there is to promote Anchor, and you do it in a way that there's a script, and you can read off that script, ad lib it, do it, or totally do something different. But it's got to fit the contents of that script. And once you put that script in the show, once you put that ad in the show, and everybody listens to the ad, to the show from from beginning to end, you put them in there, you're gonna get paid a penny per the time that the ad comes up. So if you got 100 plays, you get 100 pennies. That's $1. and it adds up. Trust me, it adds up.
Yeah, that's where promotion comes in. If you really want to do that, you need to promote like all the time, and that's what I'm gonna start to do more again, but on only for like this show is to like send the link out there and just go from there.
Yeah. Because surely
I actually came up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. I don't
know. You can finish.
Because surely in your credits at the end of your program, where it reads off every one of them, I see a lot of David 3000 on every particular position. You look at the poor guy needs some position since he's hiring. I'm his announcer for Brandon Martin. I had to get there to beg to get into the credit rolls to see my name, and it goes so fast, and I gotta look up and down. I get creaks in the neck sometimes.
I'm actually exporting Super Password, but which I may actually move back to the 12 p.m. slot, for Super Password since you mentioned, just to bring back memories. But as I was trying to say earlier, I actually came up with the podcast idea is sports stories. Basically, I'll just tell sports in the history of the past, and I think I could do a podcast out of that just to grow my Anchor accounts and maybe another one I have an idea of is maybe to like the variety is like maybe a podcast of where if there's a good conversation or interview I've done on this channel, I can put it on the up podcast and I will just call it the variety. Those are the two podcast ideas I came up with.
Yeah, that would work out pretty good. But again, like I said, I think you would put the David 3000 network on YouTube and let everybody just upload to that channel, and I can guarantee you we would get the subscribers, the watch hours, and the variety that YouTube wants from one channel. But it's a network. You're making it like a network, and I would like to be a part of that network because I have 2 shows and possibly a third one coming out, and I'm thinking about doing this in January, where I'm going to be spotlighting smooth jazz legends, the legends of smooth jazz and the jazz genre.
It's above the live chat. Yeah. Right here.
Scroll up there, Emo. For the 2 channels. Yep. And then you copy and paste them. And I think if you do that, because I was trying to propose that to one of my other friends, and he's just not budging. He doesn't want to share. The thing we need to do is to share our talents, because we all talk about different things. I talk about historical things, and I try to apply them to where I grew up and all that. You talk about sports and wrestling.
Yeah.
And you guys could talk about the history of it by giving us a documentary of.
That's why I came up with the sports stories idea from.
Right, but you could also do you could make a separate show called Legends of Wrestling or Pro Wrestling, and highlight and give us the full story, like a documentary that the History Channel would do of whoever passed on in the time frame, like Roddy Piper, let's say, because he passed on, or Macho Man, and you can highlight it and call it the history of passed on wrestlers, or the legacy. And these would be shows that would be on your channel.
Have you ever thought of doing one about football on your end, like legacy of football?
I don't know much about the professional football players. I mean, I follow the sport, but what I would have to do is basically go to Wikipedia and just verbatim the whole thing, like I always do. It's just easier to read it off of a long story from Wikipedia. The information's right there. It's not plagiarizing it because Wikipedia is not specifically.
I mean, people think Wikipedia is fake news for some reason. You know.
How can I question? Decipher what you want with it, but how do you get the exact information of a person's life where you have to be accurate in some way?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the information might not be there at the specific time, but I think the
Yeah.
Wikipedia covers when you're doing a person's life, their biography. I think it covers almost their entire career, especially since they passed on, then they can put more in there. But you're right. I mean, those who for people who are still living, it's hard to kind of update unless the person themselves is updating. Now, take for instance a guy like Dean Goss. Now you know Dean Goss, the announcer for Let's Make a Deal, High Rollers.
Mm-hmm.
I had him on my Legacy of Queens show. And I said to him, I got all the most of your information from the Wikipedia. And he says, the Wikipedia. I was like, yeah. But I said, you might want to go in there yourself and update what they didn't cover. He's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I said, because anybody can go in there and update the information. And if it's you yourself on your own, on your own biography about Dean Goss, then Dean Goss should go in there and sure as heck update what what was missing, because there's a lot of stuff that he's talking about during the interview that I didn't even know he did and that they didn't even cover in his Wikipedia file.
It can also be good Wikipedia for interviews because don't have to do that much research. Like if it's not accurate, then you can still ask.
Yeah,
there's more questions for you.
Oh yeah, and I tell people that it's just easy to go and follow along with us from the Wikipedia, and if you want to do more research on it, by all means, do it. I'm giving you I'm scratching the surface. Let's put it that way. I'm giving you very brief, detailed information. How detailed you want, go look it up, my friends, because that's what our parents used to tell us. Go look it up in the encyclopedia,
What inspired you to talk about New York, and like how much research is there for you to do that?
Well, let's see. We're in our 8th year of the Queens New Yorker, and what inspired me to do it is because I've seen so many channels talking about different landmarks and different streets, people walking, videotaping, and recording.
Mm-hmm.
And surely the History Channel has talked a lot about New York and Manhattan and Bronx and the more popular boroughs, but no one really honed in on Queens. So what
everybody talks about New York City,
Well, Queens is New York City. I mean, you're
like the state.
When you talk about New York City, you're talking about the 5 boroughs of New York City, which is Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, Staten Island, and Brooklyn. Okay. Those are the 5 boroughs. But when you talk about New York State, that's upstate, that's Albany, Buffalo. Okay. That's, the rest of the state. When we're talking about New York City, we're talking about the 5 boroughs and Long
By the
Island.
way, before we continue, I just send Bingel the link right now. You can stay on here until he comes. So just for those who are currently watching, Bingel should be here soon, hopefully. As he said, he'll be here at 9:30, but I just sent the link. But you can be on here until he comes, so let you know. Yeah. But continue. I just had to put that out there.
Okay. So basically I'm concentrating on the five boroughs of New York City, but I'm also honing in more on Queens and want everybody to understand from my perspective what I grew up with as far as living in Queens, because I lived in Queens for the first 17 years of my life from 77 to 1995. And I thought they were the best 17 years I ever lived. Now I've been down in Florida for 27. make it 28 next June. But even though I've been down here 10 years longer than up in New York, I wouldn't trade living up the time that I had in New York for anything, because I do miss the food, I miss the transportation, I miss that fast-paced life. But if you asked me if I wanted to go live in New York at this moment right in time, I'd say hell no. Too dangerous. Even my great area of Queens is going through
That's just me.
yeah. Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Even my great borough of Queens that was once thriving is getting ransacked by the criminals of the area. So it's kind of too dangerous to go back there and eat vacation and enjoy the good food without getting beat up or something else if you did something that somebody didn't like. That's so hopefully maybe we'll get there next time. In the next couple of years, maybe they'll clean up the city again and finally get it out. Otherwise, people are going to move out of New York and it's going to be a ghost town.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens with Queens in the future. And for those who are wondering, you're originally from there.
Excuse me.
You're originally from Queens, so
yep. And,
when did you move to Florida?
1995. June. The exact date was June 17th, 1995, and been down here since. So it's 27 years to the date.
And have you been to Queens like from time to time? Like
I used to go all the time before my grand passed, but she passed in 2006, and that was the last time I was there, was to bury her, and I haven't been back since. I need to go back and pay my respects to my grandmother's grave, but getting back there has been very difficult. And now with all the crime and everything going on, I just don't see it happening anytime soon, David.
Yeah, probably not a good idea right now, but
no, because if I go there, I may not be coming back. I may be coming back in a body bag, and I don't want that. Trust me.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to die, but I'll tell you this much: I would not want to go there and not come back. You know what I mean? It's the one way.
Which stinks for New York, but I mean, I'm not going to sure how they're going to fix it over there. But
I don't know. The solution is get the people that are not doing the job and get them voted out. Go to the polls, folks. November 8th. Vote. Vote Republican if you can. We need all the help we can get because the Democrats are just not doing the job. I'm sorry, I don't want to be political on your show, but if I had to come here on November 7th and talk politics with you, geez, I think we would be here.
We'll be canceled.
We'd be canceled and be censored by every other freaking whatever you call it, for that matter.
Yeah.
I don't, but again, I'm trying to bring the historic side of New York, or especially Queens, to everybody, because I think we need to really focus. And there's a lot, and I mean a lot, in the 8 years that I've been doing the Queens New Yorker, that I've covered over 213 episodes in 8 years. That's pretty good. That's a good 40 episodes per year, give or take, per season.
Yeah.
I mean, let me see. If there's 213 episodes,
yeah, you have 14 people watching. That's pretty good.
Hey, that's great. So there's about 26 episodes per season in the 8 years that I've done the Queens New Yorker. A little over 26.7 episodes, give or take. So there wasn't really a consistency, but there was 26 in each season, which is about what you would see in your normal season if you did 13 weeks of once a week. I usually do twice a week.
Yeah.
So that's about that's about 2 shows per week. You muted yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I did that on purpose, huh? But
okay.
I'm trying to do this here, but If anybody wants to do their own podcast, what advice would you give them?
Pick something that hasn't been discussed already. Find a niche that you know a lot about. And if that is something that has not yet been put on YouTube or any of the social media platforms, and you're passionate about it, do it in a way that is different from everybody else. You've got to be different. You just can't go out there and copy somebody else's format. First of all, people don't like it when you do that. You don't get any consent from anybody. So you're really breaking the law with copyright infringement. And, if you're going to do a podcast, please keep it clean, folks. None of these topics, unless you're an expert in these topics that deal with the dirty side of life, then leave it to the experts. Know what you're talking about. Write an outline, plan it out, script it a little bit, ad lib, and try to incorporate things that can fill time. And then decide, well, look, most YouTube channels have 10-minute videos because of our short attention spans. My shows on YouTube can go from anywhere from at least 15 minutes to a half an hour, maybe even more, depending on how popular the person was. So the shows that usually last less than 30 minutes actually do better than the shows that were on for an hour. That's just because people.
An hour is a little bit. I mean, an hour is good enough for like a show podcast, but like, I don't know, maybe half an hour is like.
Half an hour is good.
Yeah.
Your half an hour is good, but you also got to remember too that your intro and your outro for your shows count as part of that half hour. So really, what are you doing? You're doing 28 minutes worth of material.
Oh, sorry.
And then you've got your minute intro and your 30-second outro at the end. So really, you're doing 29 and a half minutes of your show. So your show's really 29 and a half when it should be 30. So you got to allow for that intro and outro too as part of your show. So really your bulk time on your topic has to be no more than 27 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as for your Chasing the Kenyo radio show, you do that every Saturday night. And
almost every Saturday night, and for 2 hours. Used to be 3, but I realized I can hone it in a format that's not going to let me sit here for 2.5 hours doing this. Sometimes sitting at a 3-hour program and it's all music, I get sit here.
Or maybe even 5 hours.
Oh, I couldn't do 5 hours. I tried to do 4 hours. But Ustream only allowed me to do maximum 3 on the freebie when I was allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes if the computer stays on too long, it'll wind up crashing after a while. So 2 hours tops on Audacity, record it. It's recorded the whole way through. There's no live. And then I like I said, I'll upload it to Mixcloud. Same thing with all my programs. They're all recorded. No more live because unfortunately the trolls have done the damage, and it's sad. But I don't think live streaming just doesn't work because of the topics. Now you, on the other hand, with this program, because you have the audience, I'm very grateful to be a guest on this program and any other program that you guys have me on. I'm very happy to be part of the game.
Yeah, and I mean I do this show because, for, people to have good entertainment. Because that's what people need every day. And, this show has been successful this year. We had memorable moments, including Jerome, the 4.6 million masterpiece. And which was on Deal or No Deal, and
you saw I saw the little post you made on it. Oh, here's
Ah,
Bingo.
there he is. Somebody here just getting stuff. All right. Thanks for the update. Feel free to go to share the YouTube link on your Instagram as well, so that way people on there will know that you're coming on right now. But yeah, on the last Colin stream of this, um, so basically, yeah, Kevin friends, welcome.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Um, so basically, on my last Colin stream, um, I was having my friend Lucas Cantwell on, and let's just say, I had the idea of doing the Dear No Deal jackpot, which was
Mhm.
basically what I've been doing on this so far one, over almost, since around this time last year. I really wanted someone to get the jackpot this year, and not people, Lucas, I mean, who hosted the Pancake podcast, which no longer runs, but it was from a long time ago,
Yeah.
and he came on here. I decided to have him on, and I just had that idea unplanned because Price's moments are unplanned. He came on, he won the jackpot, and then after that, everybody just roasted Gary because Gary did not want him to get the jackpot. He wanted to, and just everybody came on here, and me, Eric, Mike, Jerome, even Alex came on here. Like it was just a lot of shenanigans. We just roasted Gary. Gary fell to the bed on his button, and it was just one of the most memorable moments on my channel this year that happened a little bit over a month ago. Um,
It's nice that you
so
guys get together and what I like about what you guys do, especially with the Super Password and with all the game
yeah,
shows, is that you're bringing back these classic game shows in their formats, in the original formats, and bringing it to us on an updated platform where we can interact with it. And I love that, and I think that that's why
but
the
but
audience is so sticking, so supportive, and you should be all proud of yourselves out there, your audience members. I'm referring to,
mhm.
because if it wasn't for the audience, the listeners, and the viewers, you would not have this channel. And what's
Yeah, I
your
have eight.
subscriber count? You have 800 subscribers, and I'd kill for 800 subscribers right now. So go to the subscribing list, folks, if you haven't, and subscribe to my channel and welcome up. I know
Yeah,
Raven and those guys in Imu did that as well. Thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll get back to you on that.
these are the channel names, and
Mm-hmm.
right now I have 831 subscribers right now, and
Yeah,
no, I'm almost. I wouldn't say halfway to 1,000, but
you're
only
three
a
quarters of
quarter
the way
away.
there. No, you're three quarters. You're 75% there. You're more
Mhm.
than 750 because you figure at 250 you were at a quarter, 500 you were at a half, and at 750 you were at three quarters. Now you're more than three quarters of the way there. And once you get those 1,000 subs, you have the watch hours. You'll be monetized before you know it, because you made it up with all those live streams, including this one with the views that will get there tonight. So I'm
Yeah,
not surprised if you get monetization as soon as you hit the 1,000 subscribers, because you'll be eligible for it. Your watch hours are
yeah,
probably more than 4,000 right now. Yeah.
yeah, probably. But I'm gonna have to let you go, Jason, because Spanko's right here.
Again, for having me, boss. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was nice.
You're welcome.
I'll see you
And
next time.
hope yep, see you soon.
Yep. Bye-bye.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to, for the first time, do a little bit of an interview segment on this calling streams. Some of the interviews are passed the board. This person right here is part of my production staff and has been in YouTube for at least 10 years or how long. Please welcome Matt Bingel, everybody.
I am here finally. Hello, hello. How you doing?
Doing well, Bingle. Yes, been a while. Yeah, it's been on my channel since
Yeah, it's been a
Press the
bit.
Luck last year.
Yeah.
But
How you
this
doing?
doing well.
Good.
I think the last time I talked to you, a funny story where someone was like a big fan of you and like crazy on the call.
Oh
Well,
boy.
last time, and it was just
Yeah, I've had that
I don't know
happen.
what's going.
I've had that happen as well.
Uh,
That person ain't
uh,
the only one. That person ain't the only one.
yeah. So tell everybody about yourself.
Sure. My name.
Introduce yourself.
Sure, I'd be happy to. My name's Matt Bingel. I am up and coming puppeteer. I've been on YouTube now. I've had my current channel for about 8.5 years. I don't really upload much as often, but I'm a puppeteer these days. I'm also the co-host of a podcast called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. I've been a part of that since mid-January, at least taping wise, and it's a podcast where
Huh.
some friends and I we just talked to a whole bunch of people from our childhoods who've worked on such amazing shows like oh god, there's so many Sesame Street, Arthur, there's so many. I know I'm gonna forget some. Laurie Berkner Band. Thank you, Mom, for the assistance there.
Hmm.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of wonderful shows that people have worked on from our childhood, and been a part of that for almost a year. And now I'm doing my own puppetry stuff. Been doing that for the last 2.5 years, and I just really enjoy it. It's pretty much about me.
Hmm. Yeah. Hey, here's your friend room over here.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
Very long time. Interesting. And I know you know
It's
this
that
person,
boy.
so I guess,
It's
but
that boy. It is me. It is me. Yes.
um, and speaking of Jerome, you actually been a new member of the network community for this year, so that's good.
Yeah. I've known Mr. Garrison for oh god, it'll be 10 years next year. God, I'm feeling old just thinking about that. Yeah,
You're not the
I've
only
been
one.
kind of I
Yep.
there's Wyatt. What's up, Wyatt? How you doing? Yeah, I've known Garrison for almost 10 years now. We first met through some mutuals about right around 9 years ago. If you folks remember his old show, Mega Fortune, I was on that a couple of times, starting in season 2, way back when. I'm feeling old even just thinking about it, but that's how he and I met, and eventually I met a whole bunch of others in the community throughout the years. So
Even people know you from the gaming community, but I guess you're part of the new community that's puppeteering. So there you go. You
yeah.
have Tori Benson.
Tori Benson, how are you? Oh, Tori. Tori's one of my biggest. Oh, I see Alex there. Hey, Alex. Oh, Alex. All my pals are here. Tori, big supporter of mine. Alex is a very, very dear friend of mine in the puppetry community. Um, I
Yeah.
told everybody about this, so yeah, glad everybody came out.
So how did YouTube start for you? I want to ask that.
Well, it's a very interesting story about how I started YouTube. It was almost 10 years ago. I can't believe I'm saying that. In December 2012, I had gotten my first laptop. It was I remember it was a very small black laptop. It had Windows XP. Yeah, way back. And a friend of mine, my best friend of 18 years now, had helped me make a YouTube account. Now, I didn't have a camcorder at the time. I didn't get a camcorder until like 2016. But I had done some videos. Looking back, it was terrible quality. I had actually used a Nintendo 3DS because that's the only camera I had at the time. And it was looking back, it was horrible quality. Even then it was, but I didn't have anything else at the time. So yeah, that channel lasted until April of 2014 when Windows XP ended its support. So I decided to make a new page, hence I've had the one I've had for the last 8 years. And
Mhm.
And then earlier this year, I made my puppetry page, the Bingel Puppet Troop, because I felt it was time. I felt it was time to kind of separate my other stuff with my puppetry work. So
Yeah.
that's how that started out.
Yeah, everybody with YouTube, gotta start with something you have
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's how things work. You start from what you have and just practice and grow from there.
Better quality over the
Um,
years, I will say.
yeah. Um, what are your main interests of what you like to do?
Um, well, puppetry, but I also love. I've gotten into watercolor painting over the last couple of years. I took a art class in high school, and we learned about watercolor, and I just loved it so much. I got my own watercolor set I've had for the last, I don't know,
Hmm.
year or so, and I really love that. Um, I don't really know what else. I'm a math kind of guy. I'll tell you that. Um, I've always been a numbers kind of guy. I've always had a love of numbers. I don't know why. I don't know how it started, but I just had a love of numbers ever since I was 3.
And you're a game show person as well. How did you get into game shows?
I've been a fan of game shows ever since I was 6. I remember in 3rd grade, my class and we had taken a trip to Washington D.C. and
Hmm.
they have a little plaque on one of the steps at the Lincoln Memorial, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had um, said his famous "I Have a Dream" speech in 1963, and
Uh,
this is when I was about 9 years old. And we were spread out in the groups, like small groups, and my tiny group, I think it was me, my mom, one of my teachers, and somebody else. I cannot remember who. It's been 13 years. But I stood on there and said, "When I grow up, I want to be a game show host." Well, that's not the case now, but yeah, I've had a love of game shows for a long time. I just love the thrill of it. Um, yeah, I just love the thrill and excitement of game shows. You never know what to expect, and
mhm.
it's just unexpected.
And about game shows, they are very different today. Very different.
Oh yeah, very different from today.
Yeah. Like when you look at the channels, there are not a lot of game shows
No,
anymore.
no, not a lot
It's,
of not a lot of soap operas on either. NBC just took off Days of Our Lives. That's now on Peacock now, as of last month. So NBC's done with
especially
soap operas.
yeah, it's right now like mostly Let's Make a Deal, Price is Right.
Yeah,
And
Family Feud, Jeopardy, Wheel. Those are still
like
on.
Jeopardy Wheel of Fortune is like the only game shows that are on at night or in the afternoon
Well,
after work.
Family Feud's on at 6:30 out here where I am. So it might be
For
different for
me,
other
it's
people.
three.
Yeah, I was about to say it's different for other people because of syndication, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and as what you said, that's a different story. Um, and how did you get into the games community? On here on YouTube.
Like I said earlier, it all started with Mega Fortune back in October 2013. I had met Gary through some other people, um, mutuals, we'll say, and
Hmm.
that's pretty much how I got here. Um, so I've been a part of this community almost a decade. I'm feeling old saying that, honestly, but it's hard to believe I've been a part of that since I was a teenager. Now I'm 22, soon to be 23 in just a couple months. It's insane.
And of course, in the games community, you are friends like with Alex, Gary, Aubrey,
Yep.
um, and just a lot of people.
Yeah.
And um, What is Aubrey up to nowadays? Still doing his own thing?
He's very busy. I still talk with him from time to time.
Feel free to
He's
start him this interview if you want.
yeah. I think really that would probably be scheduling would be the most difficult thing. I know from experience. But he's
I meant
doing very well. He's doing very well.
feel free to share the center point to him. That's what I meant.
Hmm.
But uh, what is like your experience of puppeteering? Like, how did you get started into puppeteering?
It was really a pandemic thing. I've been a fan of puppetry for as long as I can remember, ever since I was a little kid. One of the first shows I watched was a Blue's Clues spinoff called Blues Room. That was on when I was a kid. I I loved Blues Room as a kid. I didn't understand like the puppetry aspect of it until many years later, but I thought it was very fascinating how that worked. And been a fan of Fraggle Rock for many years. And in 2020, while the pandemic was just starting up, my college was the college I went to was doing a little survey for you can enter to win a $50 Amazon gift card, and I won. And I still had some birthday money left over, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get myself a puppet to see how it goes, and it's gone very well ever since. And I really have never looked back. I've never looked back.
Yeah, and oh yeah, Blues Room. Yeah, Blues Room was.
It was
I'll
different.
just say a little bit overrated. I would say that.
Everybody has their opinion.
Yeah. And no, I wonder what is the most point. What was the point of that? Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what in the world was the point of the 6th season of Blues Room at all, or Blues Clues at all, because that was a very different season from the first 5. I will say it was very it was season 6 was a strange season. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Where did you get your Maury Monster model?
I got him off of people always get on to me about this, but I got him off of Amazon. He's built by a company called Silly Puppets. They have a wide variety of puppets, and you see these on like Amazon all the time, whatnot. So that's where I got Marty Monster from, and he was my first puppet. Still use him a lot. Pretty much everything I do at this point. So yeah.
Do you plan on doing puppeteering full time as a job in the future?
I would like to. I know some people that do. I would like to, but I'm not 100% sure if that is going to be full time at this time.
Yeah.
But I would like to. Me personally, I would like to work with puppetry full time.
Yeah. It could be interesting of how people go that path.
Oh yeah.
Because I have know nothing about puppeteering because I'm not, part of that. But it's interesting to see like how people go past their interests.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with game shows.
Yeah.
People, there's been hosts saying one day I'm gonna be a game show host. One day I'm gonna be a game show announcer, and that day has come for them. So it's interesting to see the paths of their interest into a career.
Yeah, game show announcing is something I've wanted to do as well. I think I have a good voice for that. So we'll see.
Tell us about bird call.
We could be here for a whole half hour with that. So I knew this question was going to be brought up. So for those who don't know, I'm hoping someone's not here so you don't get on to me about it. Vertical, they're a puppet troupe in Orlando, Florida. They started up in 2002. It's about these birds who run a radio station, and I've been a fan of theirs for 4.5 years. If you know me, this question was coming up. So I've been a huge fan of theirs for 4.5 years now, and they produced their own musical a couple times a few years back, which is on YouTube. It is a fantastic production. I highly recommend it. And they do other content. They've got a podcast. They've got a whole bunch of other stuff. And they do live streams on and off sometimes, which are really really fun with their characters. So they're just great. They're absolutely wonderful.
You have a lot of Cards Against Humanity gameplay videos on your channel. Tell us how you got into that and what are some of your favorite moments.
Oh boy, favorite moments. Well, it's interesting. We haven't filmed an episode since like mid-February. It's I was just messaging Jay York earlier about it, and he was telling me like we should start it up again. So we may start that up again. But that started out in January of 2015. Yeah, that's a long time. I don't really remember how it started. I guess we just did it one night, and I say, "Hey, why don't I record it to see how it goes?" And it went well. We changed sites over the years, only once because the other one wasn't really working as well, but it actually kind of worked out better. And oh man, I don't know. Favorite moments. Oh man, I really love it. We did one iteration from 2015 to 2018, and then we brought it again around my 20th birthday. We taped our first episode back about 2.5 years ago, and we in May of that year we switched to a different site than what we were using, just because it was better layout, faster, whatnot, and you could use pictures or GIFs as blank cards, which I thought that like the possibilities are endless, and those our Cards Against Humanity show is very different from others. We use our own running gags, which I guess makes our show unique. That's kind of thing with ours. We like to make ours unique, and favorite moments. Oh man, that's really tough. I actually haven't watched any of my episodes in a while, so I'll have to go back. But I love some of those where we just bust out laughing. I remember, Alex, if you're still in the chat, I brought this up to you before. I remember there was one time I can't remember what it was. I think it was October of last year, sometime last season, and I think I can't remember what the card was exactly, but what the black heart was, but it was the white heart was a vaccine that turns people into crocodiles. Frankie just did not stop laughing for like 6 minutes straight, and we were just like,
That's crazy.
We didn't get why he was laughing so much about it, but I guess because it turned people into crocodiles. I don't know.
I'm actually looking at your channel right now. What is some of your favorite interviews that you've done here? Like, because I know you posted interviews from your Instagram. So what is your favorites?
We'll see. It's interesting. My show Bingel Live actually kind of started out as a puppet talk show, which eventually transitioned into a kind of a more of a puppet variety show type thing. But when we started up, it was kind of like a puppet talk show. Some of my favorites were Larrikin Puppets. They're a puppet troupe in Queensland, Australia. I've been good friends with them for years. So you mentioned Bird Call. Some of their characters I've had on our first year. Especially our Christmas show was really, really special our first year. was really special. I don't know. I guess those are my top three, at least for our first year.
What is your Dear Note playing long? I just discovered that. What is that about?
Man, I haven't touched that in a while. It's kind of like I don't
A
really know how.
recap?
Yeah, well, kind of a recap, but you know how unexpected Deal or No Deal is. So if you do
Yeah.
the exact same cases for one episode, it's going to be completely different from the other episode, from the actual episode. And
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, well, what kind of luck would I have against the actual episode? So I I haven't really done that in a while because I've been trying to find the time to do so, but I will get more out before the end of the year. So
Interesting. Um, have you ever been interviewed on TV before for your puppet career?
not
Or
on TV, but I would love. I haven't even been. Well, no, not on TV, but I would love to. I would love to be. That would be really cool. Sadly, I've never been on television with my puppets, but I would love to. Um,
Mhm.
so
Yeah. What TV show you always want to be on the most for your puppets?
easily Sesame Street. Well, in terms of my puppets, I don't know. In terms of my puppets, I kind of want to do my own thing, like produce my own
Yeah.
TV show because that's something I've wanted to do ever since I was a kid, like produce or host my own TV show. But I would love to work for Sesame. I would absolutely love to work for Sesame Street.
Yeah, whoever is a big fan of that's their dream. How did it start interviewing people in the puppet community? Because I
Um,
noticed a lot.
that kind of just started out on a whim. I didn't really have a format when I first started, but eventually it became like a puppet talk show type thing. So yeah, it's interesting beginnings, I'll say, but um,
Hmm. Um. Yeah. Do you have any favorite moments from the people you interviewed?
uh, there's so many during our first year. Hmm. Well, I remember our third show we did was with Luckle Ducklebird. He's one of the characters of Bird Call. I had set that up like just after Bird Call the musical was publicly released. It was like 4 days after it was released. Um,
This
and
is not.
one of the, and
This
one of
is
the
this is not the about the bird call podcast. That's different. But that's
no, it's no, it's
not that big deal.
it's not about their podcast. That came much later, but we still had some time and we were taking questions from the audience. Somebody had asked Leckle, if he had seen Sesame Street, and I'll never forget it. He said like on a security cam, like it was, uh, it was wasn't expecting that, but sure. I mean, nowadays you never can be sure, so whatever works.
What are your favorite videos that you have done on your YouTube channel? And also, what is your favorite videos that you've been a part of?
Um, favorite videos I've done have definitely got to be the Cards Against Humanity series I've done over the years. It's just so unpredictable, and we don't go really overboard with it like the actual game does. But I love doing those. I miss doing those so much. I miss them a lot. Favorite videos I've been a part of. Really any of the Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episodes that I've been a part of. I think think I've been a part of, oh man, almost 50 at this point. I'm trying to think. Yeah, almost. I've had to recount because we've taped some that haven't gone up yet. But I love being a part of that. A lot of my dreams have come true. A lot of people I never thought I'd meet. It's really amazing. What a podcast can do, especially something with nostalgia. You know, I'm an early
Of
2000s
course.
kid. I'm an early 2000s kid, so uh,
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
And of course, you worked on other shows and the gaming community as well and all that. And you've been on here for at least a decade. It's actually, you should be proud of what you have accomplished on here. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, oh yeah. I am. I am very proud of how far I've come in the last almost 9 years. I've been a part of this thing. I'll be, some stuff have taken a different path than I've wanted to, but I'm
Mhm.
proud. The quality has improved. I really haven't uploaded as much as I wanted to this year. I had a lot of stuff planned for this year, but just college and my other projects taking up a lot of
College,
my time.
college gets in the way big time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to college because, well, for one, I just um like for one, the money's expensive. Two,
Yes, I will
me
say that.
personally, me personally, and from what I've heard from other people, it's a waste of time. Could be a waste of time, and um, people, in order to live, you gotta make money, and I just think getting a job, just doing that, will help.
Yeah,
Um,
college isn't for everybody. So I mean,
mhm.
that's up to you. I mean, that's your own decision.
Yes, everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's how it works. Um, what is outside of your YouTube channel? What shows that you've worked on with other people have been your favorite?
Cards Against Humanity easily. We've done that for such a long time, and things have changed over the years. But it's just very it. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it. And
Hmm.
I know everybody involved enjoyed it when we did it. Again, we're hoping to get it back up and running again soon. I feel sad I haven't taped an episode in like 8 months. I haven't even uploaded the last 2 episodes that we taped because it's bittersweet. Knowing that these episodes were
Yeah,
taped so long ago that they were like almost the end, at least for now. It's just bittersweet. It's
yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
as for,
I will also
go on.
say one video I was a part of. I miss this guy. I really do. Those who don't know, there was an old friend who sadly is no longer with us. A lot of you
Shackman.
folks. Yep. Zach
Uh,
man. We were friends for like a year and a half, and I was very very shocked when he passed away. As
mhm,
everybody was, he was taken from us too soon. I was
yeah.
a part of his game show Hangouts for a while. Those were a ton of fun. I even played Animal Crossing for a bit because of him, and we did a little video together, which
Mm.
was a ton of fun. Um,
Anything
yeah,
else?
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. I think about what in the world would he be doing now? Of course, it's hypothetical now, but I I sense he would have been a professional dancer, at least on America's Got Talent. I'm sure. 'Cause he was an incredible dancer, just an awesome guy. And like I said, he was taken from us way too soon. He really was. I miss him so much.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Animal Crossing, that was very popular back then as well, and that was the fun 3DS days.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those were good times. Very good times.
I mean, I'm glad that Nintendo switched to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I mean, that game is good. It's just, I don't know, I just didn't have time for it.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I feel the same
but
way.
but maybe next year, maybe even on New Year's Day, I could just start a new walkthrough of that from
Maybe.
scratch and um, because I just don't want to go back to an old. Another 3DS game I loved, Tomodachi Life.
I have not played that in so long. Like I was excited for it when it first came out, and I got it. I don't know, 3 years later. I was gonna do a series on that, but I don't have like the best setup for it. But it was
Yeah, you
I
had to
haven't
put your
I haven't
camera down on a 3DS and all that
yeah,
stuff.
it's just no. But I gotta get back to playing that. I haven't played that in years. It's been quite a while, and it's fun. I very fun. But I haven't played it in a long time. I haven't even touched my 3DS in a long time. So
If I want to start a walkthrough of a 3DS game, I'll need a setup because I can't just I just need something. At least a 3DS stand, at least a camera stand, at least something. Or
mhm.
maybe I could use my cam link for that, but I need my tripod and all that stuff and
Yeah, yeah,
all
it's
that.
a little tough to do.
Yeah. Um, that's why people don't really make a lot of DS videos now because for the Nintendo Switch
Yeah,
is the future, kind of. It's the
it
future, the
really
Nintendo
is. Yeah,
Switch.
it really is.
Like back then when the Nintendo Wii was around, that didn't last for like 10 years. Like this right here, the Nintendo Switch, it's gonna last for a long time because what other console is Nintendo gonna come up with? Because everybody with the Nintendo Switch can play on the go to anywhere, and same with even putting on a TV. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be the future for Nintendo, at least for the next 20 plus years, longer than Nintendo
Oh
Wii,
yeah. Yeah.
longer than the 3DS ever was.
Yeah. I mean, I still have my original Nintendo Wii. I've had that like 15
Same.
years. I still have mine. My Wii U, I probably will get rid of soon. I don't know.
I
I was excited about it when it first came out, but I'm just
It
like,
only lasted for like only 5 years.
yeah, that's probably one of the last times I even touched it. I think if I were to these days, I think it'd probably be only for the retro games that I have, but
That's what the Nintendo Switch is for. People play retro games
exactly.
in there.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, that's what the Nintendo Switch is for. So basically,
It's
the
the
Wii U,
future. I'm telling you
it
right
is the
now,
future.
the
It
Nintendo
is the
Switch.
future. And I remember when it was first announced, it was a combination of all the previous Nintendo consoles. So it's like this really is the future. So
If you check out Eric Lima's YouTube channel, WML TV channel 77, well, actually, no, Eric Lima, Snake and so 77. He does Saturday Night Arcade or whatever it's called, and he plays retro games from there. And so feel free to check out his channel. He's actually from Massachusetts as well, where I'm from.
nice.
Um, so, um, which for those wondering, I have not met Eric in person yet, but
I
maybe in the
was just
future.
I was just about to ask about that if you had met up or not, but I kind of figured you hadn't yet. But hopefully someday you will. I hope.
Have you ever met any YouTubers you've known in person before?
Not YouTubers, but I did meet one of my puppeteer friends recently in person.
Oh,
When I was up in New York last month, I went to see Sesame Street the musical, which is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if you. There we go. It is a phenomenal show. It runs in New York until late November. It is an absolutely amazing production. It's at Theater Row, the same place they did Winnie the Pooh show last year. And it is just amazing. And I met up with a couple of my puppeteer friends, and I know Alex did too, but Alex and we didn't meet up. We hoped to one day, but it was another friend of mine who lives up there in New York that I met up with last month, and it was just amazing. It wasn't even my idea to meet up with her originally. It was all my dad's idea. My dad had gone with me, and you know, he's like, hey, why? Because we got the VIP package, which is the book, a commemorative poster, and a chance to get a photo with the Honkers, which was a huge honor for me, being a Sesame Street fan, obviously. And there was a little line, I guess, at the end, like the right side of the stage, and my dad's like,
how's that,
maybe
Mitch?
why don't you go up there and see if you can get a little meetup with your friend? And I was like, wait. And I was asking him, like, wait, are you serious? He's like, yeah, dude, I'm dead serious. So I did. And you know, they have different puppeteers from the voice talent, because it's a pre-recorded track, which I'm not surprised about. You know, it's Sesame Street. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's great. But but no, it was wonderful. And so far, she's the only person. Actually, her and another friend I met are the only two people out of everybody I've known the last 10 years online that I've met up with in person. The only people. And I hope to meet up with more someday, though. Hopefully, my dad said we are going back to New York, so who knows?
Yeah. Even though there's crimes over there, but still, that's political stuff and all that. What has been the biggest accomplishment in your life here so far?
Honestly, receiving compliments from people who work on Sesame Street, you know, that's been really big for me. As a puppeteer, you know, that's really big. I remember one time, it was back in late June. A friend of mine, his name is Brandon Smith. Some of you puppeteer friends know him as B Smith Puppets on Instagram and TikTok. He and I and a couple others were doing some random late night stream we decided to do. It was all my cousin's idea. And like all of a sudden, I see Bradley Freeman Jr. in the chat. He performs Wes in the Sesame Street and Community series on YouTube, among other things he's done. And I messaged him. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone here. I have it up here. You know, I just told him, like, hey, it was really awesome seeing you in the chat. And he told me, and I quote, "Nice, great to meet you. Wes says hi to you and Marty too. Keep up the good work." And that really meant a lot. A couple months prior to that, Alex and I and a couple others we're part of this puppet club that's based in New York. And a couple times we have special guests. One of them back in March was Frankie Cordero. He puppeteers Rudy on Sesame Street and Purple Panda on the PBS series Don Quixote, which is a phenomenal show. And I had messaged him, I think it was the day after we had met him virtually, of course. And I told him, hey, it was such an honor meeting you last night. And it was really a pleasure to meet you and show off my characters. And he told me, my pleasure. It was so fun. You're really good. Keep it up for as long as you love doing it. So great to meet you and the others who have the same amount of love for puppetry as I always did. And that just meant a lot. And he actually follows a couple of us on Instagram, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, just those compliments from people who work on such an iconic show as Sesame Street. It's just like what? Yeah, it's just mind blowing. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sesame Street has been on for 50 plus years.
It's just about to start airing its 53rd year.
They did have a movie coming out, but I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know what's going on about that either. I don't know.
Blue's Clues, the new Blue's Clues movie coming out next month is basically what that was
Yes.
supposed to be.
Yes, I am so excited about that. Although I do need to catch up on Blue's Clues new. I am so far behind, like it's ridiculous. But I've watched the trailer for that, and I am just super excited about it.
That was an amazing trailer, I thought.
Oh yeah, the trailer for the Blue's Clues new movie is amazing, and it's crazy to think like I was just in New York. Like some of these places I went to, like I was like feet away from Radio City Music Hall, and the only thing I thought of was like Barney performed there. That's the only thing that mattered, because Barney had performed 12 sold out shows in March of 1994, and like to me that's like the only thing that matters when talking about Radio City. But no, it's like it's crazy. Like I was just up there, and some of these locations I was at might actually be in the movie. I can see like, hey, I was there. It's mind blowing. It really is.
Yeah. New York City is the most popular cities ever. A lot of films have filmed there.
Yeah, I don't recommend going on New Year's Eve. My aunt went a couple years ago to Times Square in New York City. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It's an experience, but I don't know if it's as good of an experience as you see on TV. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But no, definitely go to New York. I'd love to go there for the Macy's parade, though. I'd love to go see the Macy's parade in person.
Which is Thanksgiving, of course.
Yes. So excited. That's to me, that's the only thing that matters to Thanksgiving is the Macy's parade. That's like I don't care. I don't care about football anymore on Thanksgiving. I don't care about any of that. I just care about the Macy's parade, and that's it. Oh, and family too.
Agreed, Raven.
Agreed. Yes, and absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed.
What time does the race? What time does the parade come on?
It starts at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and it runs 3 hours till 12 noon Eastern time.
Okay, I can see why they do that because of football. So that's the answer.
Football's on in the afternoon, and like I can honestly care less about football at this point. It's just been a hot mess the last couple of years. Just like, and it's not even about my team. It's just the sport in general. I don't know. Just I don't know.
I mean, the Patriots don't have top ratings, so that's things. No. I'm trying to get back into it.
And Lamar Jackson still hasn't got his ring. So, and Lamar Jackson still hasn't got us a ring. So there you go. Yes, Tori. I love watching the Macy's parade every year. I love watching the parade every year.
Baseball is basically what I follow the most. Which I mean, you should get into baseball too because right now is the playoffs. The Phillies are winning 4-2 right now.
Oh my god! The playoff. The playoffs this year have just been insane. Like Ugh.
Yeah.
It's
Talk
been
about,
mind blowing.
Seattle Blue Jays. You got
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I watched the night that Seattle got into the playoffs. I was so happy for them. They hadn't gotten into the
Oh, yeah.
playoffs since I was a year old. And so,
I didn't even
that was cool.
exist.
That was cool to watch live, and also I know I know I'm gonna get hate from the West Coast for this, but I kind of had a feeling the Dodgers would choke. I had a feeling they would, and sure enough, they did.
Honestly, same a little
I
bit.
I had that feeling. I laughed so hard when I first discovered that Dave Roberts said we're gonna win the World Series this year.
Oh,
We're gonna win
yeah.
the World Series in 2022, and it just was like it didn't happen. So
Hey, Brian.
hey, welcome.
One more. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling the Dodgers won't make it that far, especially with those 111 wins.
The 111
And
wins.
I mean, the regular season doesn't matter. The postseason matters. The regular season,
Yes.
the regular season. I mean, yes, winning the division is key, but it's about it's about what what your players can do and perform. It's not about winning 100 plus games. It's about keeping your players healthy. What happened to the Red Sox? Injury bugs all year long. It's all about staying healthy, and good pitching, good hitting, and see what your team can do in the playoffs. It's all about getting back to the playoffs, especially with the expanded wild card.
Yeah, the expanded wild card. Yeah, and I mean
the Yankees are messed up.
The Dodgers had the best record in the National League, I think, since the '75 Reds. I think, but that doesn't matter. I mean, sure, look at the Yankees in '98; they won 114 games, they won it all, but it just doesn't go for It just doesn't go for everybody.
Are you a Yankees or Mets fan?
Neither. I'm neither of those. Honestly, I was kind of glad the Mets choked too, because I had a feeling they would choke too, especially
I don't have a team.
No, not really. I mean, I'm a hometown Orioles guy, but we actually had a decent season this. We had a good season this season.
Winning record.
Finally, winning record, first time in 6 years. But and it's just a rebuild phase, But I was honestly glad when the Mets choked. I mean, I had a feeling after that series against Atlanta at the end of the season. Yeah. I knew it was like, oh, this is not going to be good for the Mets, not at all.
Also, I honestly believe if Trey Mancini was still on the Orioles for the rest of the year, they could have improved more.
Yes. My mother and I were talking about that a while back. If Trey Mancini was still at the Orioles, we probably could have made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I really think they could have made the playoffs, but no, of course not. Typical Orioles fashion.
But maybe, I mean, kind of good for the sport because of the Mariners. But Tampa Bay keeps getting the playoffs, and I don't understand it. Tampa Bay keeps going to the playoffs with the terrible team they have, with the way how they don't hit, but they kept getting out in the first round in the playoffs as the wild card. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's kind of what they get, really. I have to be honest. That's kind of what they get. It's like you're not that. It's like you're decent, but you're not that good. You're not playoff good.
So, you don't really follow sports. You just do your own thing, right?
No, I'm not. Not really. I'm not. I don't really follow sports like analytics do, but no.
It really depends, Brian, to be honest.
Yeah. Which team is sell for the Buccaneers, honestly.
Yeah. So, any advice for those who want to get into public career, or you know, um, a- and where they can find you on social media, and finally, where will people expect for you to be in the future?
With advice, just go for it. Just go for it. Granted, you start out with these little guys off of Amazon, but um, I you can even build your own. There's a book I just purchased recently, 10-Minute Puppets. It's by Noel McNeil. Um, I highly recommend those kind of books to just kind of get started. Uh, but even if you just do these off of Amazon, look for people who build puppets. There are a ton of amazing puppet builders out there, like on Instagram, on Facebook. So just go for it. And there's a big pet peeve I have with puppetry. With first off, hi Marty. Hi. Um, people
Thank you,
can
Brian.
people can be like, oh, look at me, I can lip sync, I'm doing puppetry. And lip sync is important, but the main things about puppetry is character development. That's like the most important thing. Like these guys you can find anywhere pretty much. But if you want to make them your own, I base them. You can base these characters off of yourself or other people. Um, but character development is extremely important. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Original.
definitely. Look look online for
Be,
puppets. Or if you know people, say Julius here. Hi, there you are. Um,
and also be original, not like some other people in the world.
uh, yeah. Uh, this here is Julius. Hello. He was introduced in April of last year. Um, he was built by a puppet builder, Avery Jones, who's done some stuff. I didn't receive him from Avery himself. I was given to him from another puppeteer, another person. But definitely look. They have a ton of puppet builders on like Instagram, Facebook. There are a ton of professional puppets on Etsy, which I recommend. So just find some find some puppets. On social media, we're pretty much everywhere. I have two YouTube pages, Bengal Productions, which is my main page, and the Bengal Puppet Troop, which is my puppet page. I'm also on TikTok at Bingel3000. Also on Instagram at Dabinbingle. That's DABBINBINGEL. That's where we go live every week on Instagram. We're on live every Wednesday night, except for a couple weeks. We're going to go to Mondays for 2 weeks, not consecutively, but we've got some fun shows coming up heading towards the end of the year. And I'm also on Twitter at MMBingle1, although I don't use Twitter as much anymore. You can also find the podcast I'm a part of, Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram at Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. We're on Twitter at Jake Nostalgia. That's where we're on Twitter. And you can also find Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show wherever you find your podcasts on audio. Spotify, Mixcloud, we're all over the place over there too. And new episodes are premiering every week. So we've got a ton of.
And what days? And what days are the podcasts?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I do know we have some wonderful guests coming up. I can't say who yet because those episodes haven't gone out yet.
So it's basically random schedule.
We're on. We premiere episodes Wednesdays at 5 o'clock Eastern time. But for this week and next, we're also airing episodes on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Just this tomorrow and then next Saturday, and then we go back to our regular once a week schedule for the rest of the year, starting November the 2nd. So we're on Wednesday. We're on Wednesdays 5 o'clock. You can come catch us on Instagram Wednesday nights at 8 Eastern. We're on Instagram. Come check us out. Check out all my other puppet friends. They're really fun. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming. Now, what do we have coming up? Well, our podcast, Jake's Happy to Start Show, as I said, can't say yet. Because the episodes haven't gone out. That's kind of our little NDA, non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
Although I am allowed to tell a few people, but I mostly tell my parents. But that's it.
Yeah.
With Bingel Productions, we have a fun series. We were talking about the new playoff format. I have a series coming up. I'm starting up in January. It's called Playoffs and Playoffs Now. It's basically like what if the playoff format started when the championship series did back in 1969. So every year up until now would be playoffs, but in the current format. So like for example, would the Cubs or Red Sox have the curses broken earlier? Like would the Mariners finally win a title? Would the Yankees have 30 titles? Probably not. Damn. But that kind of thing just kind of gets you thinking in your head, like all these predictions, because you never can tell, especially with this season. It proves you never can tell with the playoffs anymore because now there are more teams.
Yeah, especially with the 100-win plus teams that are out.
Yeah, with the more wild card teams now. So
it's Philly and San Diego now. Only the two teams basically with 100 plus wins is the Astros and Yankees.
Yeah. But it's that's coming up in January. I also have a couple of vlogs I'm doing this holiday season. We're bringing those back, first time in 3 years. That'll be starting up with the Thanksgiving one. I think we're releasing that on November 28th, I believe. And then we'll go into Christmas and all that. It's just really fun, seeing that side of things.
I'm very happy October's here with the holiday season coming.
Oh yeah, I love the holiday season. As I said, I love doing our Bingel Life Christmas show every year. It's always very special, as like Tori and Alex would tell you. Those get really special at the end of the year, especially our Christmas shows. Probably, I feel like our Christmas show is probably the most anticipated show every year, just because of how special it is. And really, the holiday season in general, how special it is. Exactly. In terms of our puppet page, we have a new short film coming out next week. It's called The Angel of the Odd. It's based on a work by Edgar Allan Poe. And then we got some fun stuff coming up for the holidays, which I'm going to start developing once Halloween's over. So got a lot of fun stuff coming. Yep.
And I'll also give this update here. Originally, I was going to do the 25 days of game shows, but we're going to cut it down to 12. So that way we have more time and all that good stuff. So that's going to be the new format. A little change.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to have to let you go so that way I can put my final guest on here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, David. Thanks for having us.
Yes, and you're also more than welcome to come on this show in the future because I used to go live here. I used to go live on here on Fridays, and this is open platform for everybody that I know personally. That is so
awesome. We'd love to come back.
Stop by with me.
Of course.
Feel free to stop by in the live chat, not that good stuff. So
absolutely.
And check out your YouTube channel, Bingel Productions.
Bingel Productions, Bingel Puppet Troop. I guess all.
Did you have any old YouTube channels in the past, or this is your own?
I did have an old one. I had mentioned I had one from 2012 to 2014. That is two Lego Bot, but I haven't used that in 8 years. That channel's pretty much dead. But yes, I did have a channel back then. Back when my quality was horrible, but it's better now. So
that channel's basically archived.
Yeah, that's basically an archive channel now. So long archive channel now.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you go, and thank you for coming, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. And we are going to be having, if you'll let me.
Forgot I'm here.
How you doing, William?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Doing well. Just had a fun interview, and for everybody who showed up here tonight, it means a lot because every time I do a show like this, the quality matters to me and the fun matters to me. So I just want to thank everybody who has joined here tonight, and
Yeah, that's
it's
great,
been
man.
fun doing this show. So how you been doing, William?
Oh, I've been doing good. I actually been like watching a horror movie on Amazon Prime, and like I said before, I was like doing like little horror October marathon throughout the Fantastic Four, and I've been like having the most fun I've had throughout all of my marathons I've been for the past like 9 years.
9 years you've been doing this?
Yeah, and I actually been started watching horror movies and for when I was like back in 11th grade when I was in high school, and I remember like the first movie was the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and that was like the one movie that really kicked off my horror October marathons.
That's actually that's uh thank you very much. Oh, there's the Bingel the snare page.
Oh yeah, I was able to tune in, and he seems like a really cool guy.
Oh yes. He's been around for a while, so and you're doing the marathon basically every day in October, right? Like what's the marathon work again?
So basically, it's just like, throughout the month of October, I actually try to dedicate myself into just to watching as many horror movies as I can. Like, I remember
Uh,
I remember this is going to blow everyone's minds. Like, I remember like 2 years ago when, you know, the disease that my brain doesn't allow me name. But I've actually watched plus like 45 plus horror movies throughout the month of October, and that was like a really big horror October marathon for me, and that was like hell of a fun.
how did you get into that? Because for me, would never, I would never get into horror movies, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, you don't want any monsters laying in your bed.
Well, I just think I just don't want to get scared in general because
Oh,
plus it could the horror movies can be a little bit too much
oh yeah, I understand that
with the
though.
graphics and everything.
I understand that.
But how did you get into watching horror movies?
Oh, mm. This is really tough because throughout many years of my life of watching movies, I've always been like really into action movies, sci-fi, fantasy, but a bunch of other classics. Cycle Mike, why? The Cycle Mike got you again.
Oh, I think I heard my bed.
Oh,
No.
oh shit! I hope you didn't pull something.
Mike, you were supposed to go to sleep, hot dang it. No.
Oh.
Oh. I'm trying to chuck.
Put the ball goals.
I swear, my clips this in the morning. I try to chuckle and that didn't work.
Yeah, like you won't be seeing me juggling something.
He's gonna say, "Oh, I haven't done a darn thing." Where is that? He's probably gonna put his White Rabbit account here.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'll
So,
post that account.
where are we at again?
White Rabbit.
Oh, White Rabbit.
You don't watch wrestling. You don't know what that is. And I don't even know wrestling, but yet apparently some wrestling event that's going on.
Oh, really? What's happening?
What were you talking about when?
I like, okay, so we went from like, my horror theme topic to you just trying to like juggle what, the 3 baseballs or whatever it is.
So yeah, 2020. Yeah, everybody was in lockdown. So basically, you had all the time to watch almost 100 horror movies.
Yeah, don't get me started on that year.
Yeah. And yeah, it's actually crazy. What the fantastic form that take the marathons. Even Victor, he watches a movie like every single day in October, and I'm just like, how in the world can you do that? I will never be able to do that. I mean, yes, I do have all the time on my hands, but I have sports to watch. I have videos to make. I have all that stuff. So, I work on other projects, and that's basically what I like to do. And
Oh yeah, I mean, it's something that you're really passionate about too. Like, I know you've been watching baseball for years, and that's like the main subject that you love.
Since around 2017, when I first followed it, and that's actually was one of my favorite Red Sox teams during that time. I actually have a game log of. I gotta look it up on the network community page of how many games I went to. I've been going to games since 2013.
That's crazy.
Let's just check here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and as for me, I've been around for all 4 Red Sox World Series championships. But I have zero memory of 2004, 2007, but I do remember 2013 and 2018. I followed the 2018 team. I really want that team to win it all because there was a lot of free agents on there that I knew they were gonna go. And that was just my favorite team then, and I'm just so happy that they actually won the World Series right there against the Dodgers. And I know you're probably a Yankee fan, right?
Yeah. I think I remember you were telling me about that. You were a Yankees fan when I was last year.
No, I'm a Red Sox fan, but I just for you, you're a Yankee fan, that is. So
yeah.
I'm trying to look if I put my game log on here. I don't know if I did.
No worries. Take all the time you need.
Oh, I actually found it right here. It's actually a total of 21 games that have been since 2013. So there you go.
Very nice. So almost like 10 years ago.
Yep. My first game was July 23rd, 2013. Um, so, uh, yeah, that's my game log there.
Nice.
Have you ever been to any sports?
I think I believe the last sport was basketball, and my father and younger brother and I went over to the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, and I remember watching the Nets and the Golden State Warriors out there, and that was like my very first basketball game that I've actually went to, and it was an incredible experience.
That is interesting. I mean, speaking of basketball, how about those Knicks? They haven't won anything for 4+ years. It's
Oh
crazy
yeah.
to me.
Oh, I know too. Like the Knicks, it's like what the Jets are for not winning any Super Bowls for God knows how long. Is what the Knicks are to going into the championship brackets in any NBA season too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I'll send you some photos of the last year after this.
mhm. And even with the Celtics, they almost won it all. But so it's that one player on that team, the Warriors, and there you go.
Yeah.
What was it, the Warriors? It's gotta be the Warriors that won last year, right?
Yeah, Golden State Warriors
Okay.
and Nets.
Yeah. And by the way, about the Celtics, they lost Bill Russell this year. Rest in peace to him. Which people call him the Babe Ruth of basketball. So, um, what do you like to do on a like besides movies? What other interests you like to do?
Oh yeah, I've also I mean for I've also enjoyed like reading some mangas. I like playing video games. I also like to be out of the house and hang out with friends because I also hate the idea of like being having cabin fever and just hanging out with friends in general just puts me in like a really positive spotlight.
Hmm. Um. Yeah. And um. Trying to think of someone else to ask. What is your favorite movie that you watched this year?
Uh, you mean for like a 2022 release? You mean?
No, just that. Well, that you watched this year.
Oh, there's so many contenders. I mean, you have first time watches are films such as Scarface from '83. There was, uh, hold on a second, because I have it. I have like everything listed on my phone here on the movies that I've actually watched throughout the year. Let's see, Scarface, uh, the Ed Wood, and Top Gun Maverick would be my tops movies I've watched the entire year.
Hmm. Um. What is your worst movie that you watched this year?
That, oh, I mean, I can tell you that the Hottie the Naughty is up there. I can tell you that.
Ouch.
Yeah, I watched it out of pure curiosity, and I'm like, why the fuck did I do it to myself?
Well, you know what you're getting to. How you deal with that much pain.
Uh, Yeah, like I mean, I can power through the pain because I'm a brave big boy.
Yeah. Um, but I'll never watch that movie.
Oh god, that movie's horrible.
But Jeremy recently wants me to watch Jack and Chill with proposals and all that.
Oh
Mm.
no, God, I remember that.
For episode 75 of the Bone Proposals, yeah.
Oh
You sure about
god.
that, Jeremy?
Oh, Jack and Jill,
Yeah, but
or as Romy calls it, Jack off and Jill the bitch.
yes, yes, yeah. Oh, how
Pretty
about
much.
that? The Phillies have won 4-2, and this is game number 3. So that means they lead the series 2-1. Interesting for the Phils.
Oh, you're watching the game? Okay.
Yeah, it's an actually championship series and interesting game. And I've actually been to Pennsylvania before, so
Oh, really?
yeah, so I'm happy for the Phillies.
Oh, very nice. What area of Pennsylvania have you went to?
Uh, I gotta double check.
Yeah, because I know
Around
one of them was like Philadelphia.
Nainhorn,
Yeah.
Nainhorn, Pennsylvania. So I've been there, and I believe there's a museum in Pennsylvania that is in Philly. I forgot what the museum is called, but now it's in Philly City. So um, I completely forgot what it's called.
Oh,
But
okay. I've never been
you
there.
know, um, and you've been traveling a lot this year. Like how with you traveling a lot that started. It's
Oh
been all
yeah,
over the world.
I know. Like, you know what's funny about it too is that some of my friends too would call me Mr. Worldwide because for the past many months of this year, I've been traveling a lot lately, such as Alaska, Jamaica, and Europe, most of Europe.
I'm just like how like that's crazy that you've been traveling that much. Like what activities have you done over there?
I know too. It's like last year I went to I did like 4 vacations, and then one of my favorites too was when I went to Tacoma in Washington State to see one of my friends there. And I remember too, like we were in a Tesla car that my friend Nicole's brother had, and I will never get over the architecture of those buildings that were like so beautiful and yeah, they're like curved, but they're actually amazing to look at.
What other activities that you have done? In those trips.
Well, in Europe, we actually did like one of these walking tours where a tour guide would mostly take us around an area. Like, let's say
Mhm.
we went to Hamburg in Germany and we went to like this one beautiful looking church that had me in awe because of how well designed the inside of the churches were. And we were able to learn a lot about like its culture.
So basically, you've done like exploring history of those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of the European areas that me and my family went to, they have these churches because a lot of people are very religious there, and there's a good reason why they would have gargoyles displayed on these churches so that they could protect the church from its evil spirits. And
Um, I'll continue.
it's very interesting though. And I felt like I have learned a lot of history behind those churches and many buildings there.
Are you doing anything right now on your YouTube channel?
As in like, as opposed to like, doing videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I've been mostly been part of the both us chat for how many years, and I'm mostly just like like a viewer, in some sorts.
You don't really post anything on YouTube, so. But hey, look at your mom. He posts none. So, but that's fine. Everybody's different.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and plus the fact too is like if I were to start videos, then I would just have like this little fear where there would be a camera just like pointing in at me, and I felt like the camera would just be like the audience of like a big stadium where I would have create a little stage fright. So that's why I tend to go into the viewer side instead of posting videos because I just want to interact with a lot of friends out there too.
indeed. Do you watch any sports from time to time?
I kind of
Or
do. I kind of do from time to time, but most of the time I mostly find myself just watching movies and TV shows that I'm actually dedicating myself into watching nowadays.
do you watch Pro TV?
Not really. I didn't never into that.
Well, actually, about Pro TV and TV and all that, like streaming services are the future. For television. I mean, look at sports. There are streaming services now. Everybody's streaming now. Like this is what is happening in the decade. Is the streaming services. This is going to be the future for TV.
Hmm.
Everybody doesn't want cable, even though people are complaining about we want these sports on cable for old school people and don't use technology. There's a whole debate about that, but people are just one of the streaming services and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, which I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that in the future, but that's what basically um, what TV is gonna be like in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I guarantee it'll be going down that road too in the next few years or so throughout this decade too.
Yeah. Um, let me see. Um, what do you have planned for 2023? If you have any projects for that year.
I don't really like have that too many projects to do. Like I don't have like really mm, because I had to like really have all the time that I need just to really think about like okay, what projects I'm going to be mostly focused on, and how is it going to affect my progress in the long run throughout the year that I'm trying to accomplish. But it takes a lot of time in my heart just to really put them in a direction that I wanted them to be. But I had to think about this one.
Well, next year happening, around the corner. But I'm happy about the holidays are here now in this
Oh,
October. Very, very happy about the
yeah,
holidays being here.
yeah, absolutely. And then next month you have Thanksgiving, and then December is the Christmas spirit.
Indeed. Um, what is some of your favorite Christmas movies to watch every year?
Oh, there's a bunch of them. You can go with Die Hard. You can go with Elf. You can go with
Hi, Gary.
A Christmas Story. And I think my favorite, well, I think these two are my favorites: Die Hard and It's a Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna give you a quiz here. What is the Christmas movie with the three um um the three ghosts?
Like the three bucks. What do you mean?
The three ghosts.
Oh, the three. Oh, let me check. Let me check.
Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future.
Probably the past.
I'll tell you what it is: A Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen Christmas Carol?
I know there's. To be honest with you, there has been so many different incarnations of the Christmas Carol. So if you're thinking of like the 2009 one with Jim Carrey, or the 1950s one, because I'm pretty sure that I have seen the one where it features most of the Disney characters. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that Disney one before.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey
I
one.
know exactly what you're talking about, um, and the one that's also good is the 1984 one.
I haven't seen that one.
With George Scott.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one yet. So I guess I'll have to put it to my watch list.
But I do like the Disney one too. But I think that is gonna be here. I think that's gonna be it for this 84th episode of Chilling3000 Hangouts. Before we end this here, I don't know if you guys caught this earlier, but in December, I am going to next month. I'll be doing something a little bit different. Instead of 25 days of gaming shows, split up marathons. I am going to be doing 12 days with the suggestion by Mr. Lewis. So I'm just going to be doing 12 days, and that will start on December 14th, just to change it up a little bit. And that'll be happening starting on December 14th, and you guys can see. You guys can see. Hot dang it. Oh
yeah. Very nice. David Bez says, "Sleep on me."
Mike, you're supposed to be going to sleep.
Okay.
Day.
Oh God! And I even remember too that when I was in Jamaica, you told me to like go to bed, even though was it like an hour difference?
See if you guys see this. I don't know if you see. See that podium over there?
Oh yeah, I see it.
Oh, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got for my birthday. So,
Very nice.
So there you go. So I'll be using that for my game shows here.
Very nice.
and I'll play for the tough days of game shows when get a chance and all that good stuff. So I'll be using that. But anyway, um, that is gonna be it for this 10,000 Hannah. So I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you all maybe Monday for the Halloween special. I'm not quite sure if I will be doing a Halloween special. This just all depends on the format I'm going to be doing for the Halloween special. So only time will tell people. So
Absolutely.
if it does so happens, it'll be on a random time. So, but we're getting back into the schedule of Friday nights after our birthday week. So, just gonna go from there. After our week long 7,000 Hangouts week one special, birthday special, we are going back to the regular Fridays, which works out better. So, and if Fridays doesn't work out for that week, it'll be either Sunday or Wednesday. So that's gonna be the plan. And that's gonna be it. Do you have any final words that you want to say?
Well, it was great being on YouTube once again for the second appearance, and I'm hoping to be on this for the third time. So, peace.
Yes. And good night. And see ya. Go to bed.